Hey, favored ones! Welcome back to another, you guessed it, collective reading. It is 11:11 right now, so make a wish. So I took a week off, like I did in the summertime, to enjoy the season, and I just love this type of weather. So I got to go out and hang out. I went out of town, a lot of adventures. So I appreciate all of those who are patient and waiting on me to come back. 33 on the clock. Could be seeing 3-3 a lot. You could be life path 6 or master number 33, which means not only do you recognize the actions that need to be taken, like the number 1111 is awareness. Number 22 is the master builder number. So not only are you able to take whoever I'm talking to, not only are you able to be aware of what the situation needs, you are not only able to build towards that goal, but you are also able to teach others how to obtain that goal too. With the life path 33 is master teacher. So not only are you a master at being aware of situations, master at taking actions, but you are also teaching others how to strive towards their goals and dreams too. Amazing. That's wonderful. So as per usual, just before I left, I wanted to start welcoming Utopia. So if you wanted to join me at this time, 143, the universe loves thee. Take a moment, pause the video if you like, and really breathe in and release that out and just welcome in your Utopia. I appreciate you doing this exercise with me, because the more we get behind the idea and the intention of having a utopia and welcoming it into our lives, the more vibrant it will echo throughout the physical realm, as it already echoes through the spiritual realm. So while I was off as well, and why I took yesterday off, I said I was going to come back, is because over the weekend I was doing a lot of astral traveling. So some of you may be doing astral traveling as well. This could be new for you, and for others it's nothing new for you in your teaching. Because I had the title come to my brain for new travels fast was the idea. Over the week I was like writing down like different downloads for when I did come back on. Another one was exercising your demons, whether that's spiritual warfare or actual just your everyday vices. I feel like some of you are working out. Some of you may be implementing the idea of every time you feel like using a vice, you do an exercise instead, or you're looking into new ways of curbing the habit of either procrastination or, like I said, like a substance vices such as foods, social media, fasting, stuff like that. So, I'm also getting, today is our mateys, today is the pirate language day where you talk like a pirate. So I'm getting the feeling that a lot of you are watching that new One Piece live action movie, or you're getting back into watching the anime, or it's new for you altogether, and this is something you're embracing, is new ways to entertain yourself, to new ways to occupy your time and embrace your vision, whereas before you may have just doom scrolled, or like, because it's not that every scrolling is evil or doomy. You can change your timeline to your algorithm. So I feel like a lot of you are changing your algorithm. If something feels wonky, you're like, I don't want to see you for 30 days. Let's give you a chance to come back up. And if it's the same old, then you remove it. You're not looking at it. You're not reading the comments. anymore, and really protecting your energy. Some of you I feel like a lot of you had dealt with a toxic situation that you're freeing yourself from, whether that is a job or you're just recognizing a pattern in someone that you want to curb because it's just not working out for you anymore. I feel like now that's the new that you need to work on the new you part, but there's also new opportunities coming through, especially with the new moon not too long ago. You could have been manifesting stuff. I really feel like there's new love coming in, whether that's a family member or a new boo that you want to get with. And I really feel like some of you are really just embracing the new you. So new travels fast. Anything that you've been manifesting, like utopia, is moving in fast for you. New you coming through. And I picked out Unikite for today because not only is it pretty, it's supposed to help with self-awareness, which is what I was saying with the number 11. You could be seeing 1111 a lot, like when we first started. Really being aware of your situation and what needs to be taken, what needs to take place in order for you to gain your sobriety, gain that new job title. I feel like a lot of new clients are coming in. Your new song is just blasting off and getting so many likes. New album went the way you wanted it to. I feel like for some of you, the environment that you're leaving, it could have been a partnership that didn't work out. And I mean like a business partnership that didn't work out. Some of you are finding new producers or are working towards becoming a producer yourself. I got the word garage band in my head. I know there's more extravagant and high quality ones, but that's the one that's coming to my downloading right now. So that gives me an idea that you are going to be working on becoming your own producer or making your own beats, or I'm also getting the feeling that you're working on sampling for other people's beats. Like you're a really good singer and you could be helping others with their hook, or you're just working on singing lessons and just vocal lessons to, polish up that instrument of yours. Fine tuning. I feel like a lot of new fine tuning is coming in. Now with the new travels fast, I also feel like that you're going to be traveling a lot. Some of you could be traveling to support friends. A lot of people know you're going to go the distance. 818 could be important to you as well. But yeah, you're traveling fast. Word about you is traveling fast. You're really becoming a hot commodity. And you're willing to travel the distance for friends. I'm getting is something that's coming up for you, or family. You're willing to go the distance. Like if a family member needed you to help take care of them, or your loved one, like a partner, was not feeling well and they lived like in another town over, or I feel like there is some long distances between family, and for some of you, long distant relationships. That you're willing to go the distance. Some of you may really love Hercules, or old mythology, and finding out different truths. I said at the beginning that not only I was doing astral travels, but some of you may be doing it as well. Some of you may be astral traveling to friends and family members to help them through the hard time if you are unable to physically travel at this time. With the Unikite being the stone of visions, you're being very visionary right now. Some of you could have created a vision board, and some of that is coming in fast, like super fast. You're like the light, the dices are loaded in my favor. I'm gonna roll them and see how this goes. And you rolled it, and you know, double snake eyes. Snakes could be important to you as well, as it symbolizes rebirth. And another symbolism for rebirth is butterflies. Some people may have felt at the beginning you didn't belong because maybe you carry yourself with kindness, and a lot of people may have felt like you were a pushover, or you didn't belong in a certain industry or business because they felt like you weren't able to hold your own. But like the butterfly, they drink crocodile tears. And some people would feel like without you, things would get overrun. Like, how would they see? They don't have any tear ducts. So it's like a symbiotic relationship, an equal give and take. You know, a symbiotic relationship is where one's like eating you to death. I know there's another word for it, and it's like a mutual relationship. That's what I got. I know there's a science term for it where they like have those little fish that eat along the bottom of sharks. Yes, that's another good example of it. Like, you're like the butterfly that drinks the crocodile's tears. You're not afraid of getting up close and personal and being like, I'm not falling for those crocodile tears. Like, I'm kind, but I'm not gonna fall for your BS. And same with the sharks, where they have those like fish that eat the little pieces of like goop and stuff along the bottom of the shark's underbelly. So yeah, you really get to the underbelly, and like with like pirates and stuff like that, and in like the underbelly, and it's like getting it, you really stab into other people's plans. They're like thinking that, oh, I can like get them to expose their underbelly to me because they're not, you know, they're kind, and they'll fall for it, and you weren't falling for it. People could have been convincing you that you needed to stay, the people are talking about how you're not doing well since you left an abusive relationship, and how your new boo won't last long. Oh, gross. They need a hobby. But yeah, that's all the downloads I had while I was gone, is that new travels fast. Instead of news, like new travels fast. If you need something new, it's coming in. You need to travel, you're going fast. You're going places fast, and all your manifestations from the loaded dice are coming in for you. And you're welcoming that utopia. Yeah, get it. Get it, collective. Go favored ones. Go favored ones. Go favored ones. So yeah, I just want to let everyone know this is general reading, is collective. If some of the messages don't apply to you and you start worrying, you're like, I don't think 1331, mirroring numbers. So yeah, if you don't recognize this energy within yourself, you may notice that it is a mirror of another situation, maybe your friend that is going through it, and you're like, yeah, that does sound accurate. That would still make it the collective because they're your friend. And thank you for bringing your energy through. You could leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'd much appreciate the energy exchanges. The energy you give to me is as much as I can give back to you, and I want to give it my all. Yeah, you're putting the burden down. You've been carrying all these different tasks and all these different things. Like you were constantly feeling like you were pulling the short end of the stick. But you're such a great manifester that most people who feel like if they got that short end of the stick in the situation, they wouldn't be able to do anything with it. And here you are being able to make it grow into new opportunities, into new inspiration for creating art, You know, you thought you thought that you were going to have to carry them alone forever, but I see you walking into that utopia, ready to throw those sticks on the ground in order to hang up your achievements later. So yeah, a lot of stage building, a lot of rooting for yourself more than you're rooting for others. Because I see in the past, it seems like you were rooting for others more, giving more of your attention to them, and you're like, I'm giving some attention to myself, so I'm not completely ignoring, so it's okay. But now you're realizing that the more you're giving out to others and it's growing, the harder it is going to be able to maintain your own garden, right? Some of you are noticing that your manifestations are coming through, and they might be coming through in a different way than you were expecting. You were like, oh, I was expecting them to grow down here and then work its way up. Which reminds me of my story of my vines that are on my fence. When they were starting to grow, the neighbors had a storage shed that had to be knocked down because it was old. And I didn't know how the vines were going to grow back properly. And they really needed a lot of guidance. I was out there every day pulling them apart, even though they were scratching me and everything. You know, I got gloves eventually, you know, work smarter, not harder. That's the story. That's what it is. You're working smarter instead of harder nowadays. You're like, if people aren't cheering for me, then I'm kind enough to want them to achieve their goal, but I'm going to pull back for a little bit and put that burden down. If they want to, yeah, it makes you feel like you're constantly have your head to the pavement. So I feel like that's coming to an end because of the number 10 for completion. So you're going to start feeling like more is growing in your garden than you're seeing happen for other people. Like you're going to be tending to your own garden. Oh, that's another image that they're giving me. Some of you may have been working really hard on your upper chakras, like your crown, your heart. You're making sure you're speaking your mind. I did not mean to say F off in sign language there. I hope I said thank you. I hope I said thank you. Either way, if anyone's watching and they're deaf, I'm sorry. Just meant to be like your throat chakra off by speaking your mind. Either way, you're now working on grounding yourself, working in creativity, letting yourself feel safe in situations, and working on your chi and your ki, your life force. Some of you could be out of alignment because it looks like there's a lot of growth going on up here and not a lot of growth going on down there. So some of you may be working towards your passion, creativity. Some of you could be feeling a creator's block at this time that's coming to an end. It could have took a life experience or just indulging in stories again, because in the shaman teachings, they asked you 4 things if you're feeling off. They're like, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop talking to the animals in the trees? And the other one is, when did you stop reading? So some of you may be starting to read, or you have a new book that's out for sale. Yeah, that just jumped out. You got fortune jumping out at you. Some of you could be getting a new car. That could be what the fortune is that you were wanting for earlier with the new travels fast. And if you're getting a new car, it's definitely soon. News travels fast about you as well in the spirit realm is what I'm getting from this image. You have a lot of favor. And I feel like that favor is coming from the spirit realm and it's gonna start moving into the physical realm. I know that's not the cards meaning. You can look up the cards meaning yourself, and there's messages there too about putting down the burden and not overworking yourself and taking rests. But that's also making yourself feel safe in the first place and working on your lower chakras. For root chakra, if you don't feel grounded and you're constantly overworking yourself, the message is in there. So if anyone wants to say that I'm doing too much images and not enough of the meanings, there's the meanings for you. I feel like the fortune is dripping down and you're receiving rewards from your ancestors, from your guides, and from yourself too. I feel like some of you are rewarding yourself. Some of you may have been like, yeah, especially with the books. Yeah, you're reading a lot more. Or you're promoting your book, as I said. Even if you're promoting your book, reading is fun. Some of you could be getting into audiobooks for those who have dyslexia or just ADHD with problems with focusing while reading. You're learning to make the font size different. You're learning about what kind of audio books you enjoy. Or a lot of you are putting down the burden of it needs to be an adult book. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be an adult book. If you want to get a young adult book because their spacing and just the sheer amount is less, so that you can also indulge in fantasy and the other realms of creativity, then by all means do that. Nobody says that you have to read a big, thick book from the biggest section of the library in order to be a reader. Some of you may feel like you aren't talented enough or know enough information to be a tarot reader even, or the type of spiritual gifts that you want to indulge in, whether that's being a past life regression meditating practitioner that helps guide people, QHHT sessions, whether you do Reiki, reflexology, or if you just want to do it for yourself, not even be a practitioner, or anyone who does it as a way of living. You may just want to indulge in it just because you have a sense of curiosity, and that's perfectly okay. You don't have to jump into the deep end. You're allowed to put a couple of toes in at a time and slowly dip yourself into the world of spirituality and cosmos and astrology and astronomy. Because I feel like there is a lot that you want to learn about, like minotaurs and sphinxes, and the sphinx is reminding me of knowing your truth and feeling your truth within yourself and knowing you're a hero regardless of what anyone else says. Like in the Never-Ending Story, when he had to walk through the two sphinxes, and you had to be sure of yourself. And I feel like that's what's happening for you, is you were sure in your gifts and yourself, but you weren't sure how you're going to implement it here into the physical to take care of yourself and bring fortune. Now, if this isn't your spiritual gifts, this is just your your talented gifts regardless, whether this is baking, which honestly, I feel like spiritual teachers are not just tarot card readers or those who work with the clairaudience and such. Actually, you want to know what? Sometimes clairaudient people are musicians. Um, but I feel like a lot of spiritual teachers and healers are lawyers, doctors, authors, care workers for children, babysitters, being a mom, being a dad. I feel like there's a lot of different ways to be a spiritual teacher, and there's a lot of different ways to be a regular teacher too. Here, there's a lot in the physical realm that needs to be taught and taking into consideration. And my partner once told me that yes, it is really great to be spiritual and have your heads up in the clouds, but it's also important to be grounded and feel safe and integrate into the physical, because that was the whole purpose of us coming here, was to learn how to see all that goes on, but still find a way to find happiness for ourselves and to create. We are here to create, and every day we do. We create thoughts, we create compliments, we create our food, whether it's a 4-course meal or just a snackity snack. Thanks for watching, Nene. Or even Brittany, the Cosmic Wifey, because I know they like saying that. Or you came from over there too, welcome. With their drinkity drink, snackity snack, saying that I do thoroughly enjoy. Yeah, so you're bringing joy to other people in your life is creative too. It doesn't take a whole album. It doesn't take a drastic change to be a creator. And if you're a creator, then you're an artist. And if you're an artist, well, that's beautiful. If you're an artist, then you're fortunate to be at the wheel of your own life. So if you're creating, then that means you are here to do what you're meant to do. It doesn't take a lot. It's really down to earth. So yeah, remember not to get too lost in the spiritual and wanting to be away from earth, because the whole reason why we came here is to integrate and create. And as we do, we will learn, grow, and be fortunate. We are fortunate to be here. Some of you may be from the UK or enjoy Norway, Norse mythology as well. I remembered because this T-shirt was one of where the band did a music video. A lot of screamo metal bands do a lot of music videos. A lot of you could have put out a new music video. A lot of you could be dealing with building new from a fire. I tasted, I don't even think there's that much smoke out there today, so I don't think that's why, but it could be why, but it is bringing it to mind, so I will take it as a sign. Some of you are drinking more water. A lot of you could be rebuilding from a fire. And your library or a burnt library. Some of you could enjoy history like Alexandria and book burnings and stuff like that. A lot of you could be speaking up against the ingest with the Sword of Truth on the Sphinx, and work with Michael, the Archangel, or truth seekers deities is what you work with. I see a lot of coyote and the snake, so a lot of you could work with trickster gods such as Loki, Bran the Blessed, which brings me to the Fae realm. Yes. So, also getting Italy, because a lot of them have a lot of statues, which is reminding me of gargoyles. A lot of you could be working with gargoyles at this time, or the trolls or giants. For those who don't believe in the elements, elementals, or spiritual realms, and that just means that you are really into video games and you enjoy mythological history for aesthetic purposes instead of spiritual purposes, which all likes are welcome here, because at the beginning I was skeptical too, and if you don't have an open mind to be skeptical and ask questions, then I don't think that we would ever really arrive to... Woo! I'll take that one. Can we get one more card? Pull one more card from the Muse deck, and then I'm pulling an oracle, and then that's all for today, folks, because I don't want to go super long. Today's my napping day. Why? Why not? A lot of you are learning to be like, why not? Shouldn't you not enjoy yourself like you did when you were in your teenage years? A lot of you are really indulging and have healed your inner child, and now you are trying to soothe the anger, well deserved and just anger, I feel in most cases, for those who are watching, of your teenage self. You're letting her know that yes, what those people did to you and was not right, and I think you're giving forgiveness to yourself for the positions that you could have put yourself in that may have not been, completely savory or safe. But yeah, the Unikite is also for healing, crystal healing practitioners to support removing of illnesses or vices. So some of you could be working on what's stuck on the chair. Hold on. There we go. A lot of you may be feeling like you're stuck for the next thing, for the next part of your life. It was my left foot that was stuck. So some of you may be feeling like you're stuck living in the past. A lot of memories could be coming up. It could be from PTSD, or just you reminiscing over times when you could have done better, and you're looking at it from another perspective of the fact that you know better now, and that's mostly the reason why it's cringe. Like back then you may have knew that there was going to be consequences, you may have knew that this isn't the greatest idea, but you didn't know why, and now you do. Like, you're being a little softer and understanding why they were upset, but you're also letting them know that that's not who you are anymore, and if you ever need them, yes, if you should ever need the anger, it will be there for you, because I'm getting that energy from like anger management, where he literally had to be triggered so many times in order to stand up for himself. So a lot of you are learning how to not be people pleasers anymore, and that's the new thing that's traveling fast, is learning that you're no longer putting up with people. You're no longer people pleasing and putting up with people's BS. And grounding. So yeah, a lot about grounding and making sure that your lower chakras are being taken care of and taken into account, because all of them are just as important as your crown chakra, which gets a lot of like hype behind it. There was 344 on the clock, so you've seen threes and triple fours a lot. Opening your third eye and using it for scrying. So you could be working on doing high vibrational things with your higher chakras, which will pull your lower ones out of balance even more if you're not grounding yourself. So if you're working on scrying or doing protection spells for yourself, make sure you're grounded and your intentions are, and you're up to your full health so that your intentions can be on point. That's for some of you there. I haven't done any, had any need for that in a while. So for those who are in need of protection, all the guides, guardians, ancestors of the highest white light, get them. I don't like people having to go through that. I went through it enough myself, and it was no fun. I don't want anyone else have to go through anything I went in the physical or spiritual. It's unnecessary. There's way too much good in the world for that to be necessary. I feel like there is. I didn't believe it a lot growing up. Heck, if you even asked me 3 years ago, I'd probably be like, you lie, for how well my life is doing now. Even when I went through the fire, I was like, something better gotta be coming, something better gotta be coming. And I feel like that's where you're at the stage right now, collective, is that you're like, something better's coming, something better's coming, something better's coming. Because even Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So it must be really intelligent to expect different results when I'm doing something else. So I did. You switch it up. It's like in wrestling. When you're in wrestling, you're never pinned until you can no longer think of any other move. Always switch it up. There's always one position. It's never ogre until it's ogre, is what I'm hearing. It ain't over until the godmother sings. Some of you are receiving messages from the Fae realm. It could be a sisterhood of fairies, or just your godparent, fairy godparent, or fairy god guardian is what I'm hearing, because they want to be the guardian of you. For those, do not, if you are, don't take it seriously, take it slow, go for a year, wait to see how you associate with that fae, read up on them. Orange calcite, have around when you're dealing with them, and yeah, because they're not all good, and it's not always Tinkerbell and rainbows. And for those who aren't, that don't do work inside of the spiritual realm, I feel like a sisterhood is forming. For those who, or a crew, a duo, a business partnership. I feel like just a group is really welcoming you in as one of their own, and it might have took a year or so for you to feel like you actually are a part of it. I feel like that's what's coming around for you. Some of you could be getting a relationship after having a year to like 3 years of waiting. And you'd really just want to show them off to your friends. That's amazing. Because I'm seeing like there's plenty of fish in the sea, but you knew only one was for, like, only one will do. Or if you're poly, you are very selective at knowing what you want and who you want to interact with, because this person's literally like, taking their time and knowing what's for them and what's not for them. And Yeah, that's the Seven of Cups. So having a lot of choices may have had you second guessing yourself, second guessing your hand, um, and second guessing your voice and emotions. A lot of you could have been had dyed your hair and it's like fading or something like that, or didn't catch the way you wanted it to. Could have been because of Mercury retrograde, but it kind of looks like the splatters in the hair there. So I feel like some of you have dyed your hair and it didn't go well, or some of you are really happy with the way it turned out because this one's totally gorging on herself. But that was just a message for a few of you. It may not be for all of you. That your hair didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. Some of you may enjoy Blue's Clues because some of you are getting a clue on who's there for you and who's not. Because I got that blues. A lot of you could have children, and you're being very selective on who is allowed to come around them, and making sure that they feel safe, and working towards having the best that they possibly can. A lot of you have your guys watching over you while you sleep as well, so that anyone who needs to hear it, you're divinely protected. So, Seven of Emotions, Seven of Cups with voices. Is Swords. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. The Nine of Swords, believing that you are trapped when you are not. So that definitely makes me feel like a situation where you had just left your job and you're wondering how you're going to afford things, or you feel like you're spiritually attacked in the astral and you're divinely protected and everything is unfolding naturally. As you can see, this is the plans of the divine, and it's colorful, it's bright, it's vibrant, and it sends those plans out to all corners of the universe, so that while you're sleeping, you could be sleeping and resting. Rest assured that your guides are weaving together a most beautiful plan and beautiful life for you. And that's the truth. And that's what the hidden truth is with the moon being there. That's what the hidden truth is that you may not be able to see right now, is all the orchestrated lines. Some of you may be working with ley lines as well, or Tesla, as he was the original to talk on it. Some of you are learning on what you want in your diet as well, because I'm getting them being like selectively choosing, like, what kind of fish do I want to eat? Like, or do you want to eat bottom feeder type of fish? Do you want to eat ones that are raised inside of a fake farm? And like, you're deciding on, really reading the label and choosing what you're consuming right now. Like I said earlier, with putting some pages on pause for 30 days because it seems kind of negative and you're not in the energy for consuming that right now. Getting a lot of rest and deep breaths. But yeah, you are no longer feeling, you're moving out of a time to no longer feel stuck and having options to be selective. It reminds me of the Queen of Cups energy as well. I know it's Seven of Cups, which means you're usually like distracted and pulled in so many directions by so many different options, and what am I supposed to do and which way's right first. And the universe wants you to know that while other people may be sleeping on you, they're not, and they're pulling strings behind the scenes all over the world to make sure that you can be selective. You have so many options. You're like, I have so many options, what do I do? And it's like, it's better than having no options. And if you have so many options, then that's the universe asking you to take a moment to pause. The word pause or pause could be important to you. Bears or the pause button. Something could be a relationship, or you're like literally working on music, and people aren't putting you on pause if they're listening to music. They really like that. Or some of you could have put your music journey on pause because you have so many options. Some of you could have a really good voice, and now you're like, well, do I do pop? Do I do R&B? Do I rap? What do I do? And the universe is saying, sample a little bit of all of it. The sample again. I'm getting like some of you are really looking forward to samples for making your music. I don't know why, that just keeps coming through. Or Costco. Some of you may enjoy going to Costco and getting those little samples. Woo! Gotta love that free food. But remember to take it with intention. You're being selective. You're like, does this person who's handing out the food look excited to be doing that? Because if they're putting an energy of like, oh, another free sample, here, take your sample, take it. And then you're going to eat it, and you're going to be in the energy of like, so you're making sure that where you're getting your food from, and if they're coming through with good as intentions as you are. If you're not, you're like, you want to know what? That's free food, but that free food is covered in ick energy, and you're like, I don't want to eat that ick energy. Or if you do beforehand, you're like brushing it off. You're like, excuse me, energy, I'm gonna need you to move on over, because my intentions are stronger than negative intentions. And that's how you're welcoming utopia, by being aware of your surroundings and knowing that not everything is going to be of high vibration. Not everything is going to be having your best interest, but as long as you're having your best interest in mind and being aware of your surroundings and taking action and teaching others that they can be aware of it too. Like, I feel like the collective here isn't much of a gatekeeping environment. I feel like as soon as you know something, or you get a download, you're off to share it with other people. You'd be like, did you know this? Did you think about this before? And you just like to share. I feel like a lot of you do info dumping, which is amazing that you can categorize that much information in order to dump it. Yeah, working on your thesis. I feel like a lot of you could be working on essays and stuff like that, that your next year of school and funding, you're working towards getting other grants and saving. Yeah, a lot of stream of savings and incomes towards the bigger picture, right? Because that's just thread of different steps that need to be done for the bigger picture to be woven together. It kind of reminds me of a feather too, so you could be seeing a lot of feathers to symbolize that your guides are coming through. Okay. A lot of you could be like goldfish. Reminds me of a wedding. Some of you could have had a wedding not too long ago. A snack bar or something like that. I think a lot of you are trying to decide because you think everyone is, you're starting to recognize energies behind people's intentions, even though they all look like goldfish. Right? That's definitely a shark. And this one over here is a snake. This one's a beta fish. He's definitely going to eat you if you get left alone. So, like, and this one's got a reef. So it's a hero. Ancient Greeks. in ancient Greeks, women were considered allowed to be a part of the Colosseum and chariot races. And there, you may be going into, there's a lot of industry where workplace where females aren't included, or non-binary beings are not included, and I feel like you're not letting that stop you from joining the industry. Like, there may not be, let's say, in the rap industry, there's a lot of artists who are there who embrace a lot of their divine feminism, and you wanted to go in there and rock it too. And you know, you may get a lot of hate for that, for walking into an environment where it's not noticeable, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should stick to poetry or something. Or the opposite, where you're like, I'm used to rap, but I want to go to poetry. But, you know, there's a lot of places still that are very gender forward on what is acceptable in society and what isn't, which is really weird because it changes around every 100 years. Like I said, back in the day, women were considered to be in charge, like in Vikings, they were in charge of finances, and they were the ones that if they divorced the male, that the male was considered no use to the society anymore. Nowadays, if a woman got left in, she would be like, oh, well, it changes around every now and then. Like, girls used to be short hair and men used to have long hair. Pink used to be for men, but now it's not. So if you want to claim something as your niche, your talent, your hobby, your anything, in today's society, it might have been in old societies you were allowed to do that. But today's society, having problems with it, you're not letting that happen. You're not going to be like, you're not just going to lay down and let today's society tell you what to do. You're not doing it. You're like, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do a little bit of this to piss you off. I'm going to do a little bit of this to get under your skin. I'm going to do a little bit of all this for me. And you're getting downloads on who to trust, what not to trust, what's not for you, and what isn't for you. And you're allowing it to unfold naturally so that you no longer feel like there's too many choices and nowhere to go. Or no choices and nowhere to go. And you're resting, knowing that the universe is allowing things to unfold naturally and be woven into beautiful fabricing that will cover your whole self in comfort. Yeah, the universe is threading together a comforter for you. Some of you may be getting an actual comforter, a blanket. A lot of you could be dealing with replacing stuff from the fire. Some of you may not have had a proper blanket in a long while that you're getting. I was going to pull from the Dreamer's Oracle, but it is coming up here on an hour, and I wanted to be around 45 minutes. So I feel like we got a lot of good messages out of this. So we'll continue this in the next reading. I will pull on the Dreamer's card and have like, what news travels fast for you? So you have new travels fast, and you are new to the scene, and word's gonna travel fast about you. And your clientele's coming in, your new venue, a new place for home. I kept hearing new home, and I thought, like, yeah, you got a new home, people are moving, but like, if your crew and your community is where you feel at home, then you could be getting a new venue or a new place to meet your clients, as well as what's coming through. So thank you, everyone. I am happy to be back. I missed reading and feeling your energies coming through to support me. For all you who do support me, I appreciate it. And yeah, remember to eat, hydrate, and have fun. Bye.